All right, while we're getting that set up, just a bit about my background. I took quite a different route, my journey into cybersecurity. I'm ex-military. I was a paratrooper in 3rd Battalion Royal Australian Regiment. I used to jump out of safe planes until I twisted my foot 180 degrees around in the middle of the night. I looked down, I couldn't see my foot, and my toes were here. So that ended my parachuting days. After I left the military, I did private contracting in Iraq, and I started my own business in the US called GM Risk Group. You might have heard of it. Did protective security and international logistics, mostly working with media and NGOs and some manufacturing firms, and there was a cybersecurity component in that. I've always been a bit of a tech nerd, and I was studying cybersecurity at the time. But we saw a gap in San Diego on the West Coast, and I sold everything I owned and moved me and my then girlfriend at the time to San Diego to start a business. Threw it all in. I didn't have a backup plan, had nothing to fall back on, and soon ran out of money because America's an expensive place. But the company ended up doing quite well. We scaled rapidly and opened up offices in Sydney and Singapore. And I was doing about 30 countries a year. 9 months out of each year I was away working in mostly war zones and natural disaster zones. You might have seen a video that went viral on Channel 7. It ended up being their most viewed video in their history of me getting chased by an ISIS drone carrying explosives. So a bit of a different route into cybersecurity. I sold the business start of last year, and because I was getting burnt out with the workload, but also because I wanted to work in cybersecurity full time. I was only getting to sit on the fringes of it and do odd jobs here and there while I was running the business, because obviously when you have a number of people working for you, you have to drive the overall strategy and capital allocation and everything that comes with being a CEO of a company. And I wasn't happy. And it ties into what Chris has said. You have to do what makes you happy and what you're passionate about. Okay, and I moved to Deloitte down in Canberra. I was only there for 12 months. It wasn't for me in terms of the way their culture was set up. Brilliant company, but a little bit too PC for me. I was considered to be a little bit aggressive, a bit of an outlier, and it wasn't really a fit for me. Fortunately, my role now at Verison is a bit more suited to my aggressive style. But I'm going to say some controversial things in this talk. And before everybody starts getting pitchforks out and like, oh, we'll burn him, just listen to my whole speech, okay? And I'm starting off with a controversial thing to start off my talk. And I love this quote by Sheryl Sandberg. In the future, there will be no female leaders. There's just going to be leaders, okay? You like that? Yeah. Exactly, yeah. I'm so sick of the discussions around, oh, female leaders this, oh, we need more females in cybersecurity. Yeah, we do. We need, what's the industry percentage? 11% female? It's abysmal. How did I manage to build a 50-50 female-male team within Deloitte? It's because I didn't have a gender quota. And I'm going to say it now, and I apologise for swearing, gender quotas are bullshit. They do not work. Gender quotas do a disrespect to both genders, male and female. Nobody wants to be chosen because they're a female or a male. If you have 11 people in the team, we're just going to hope for, let's hope a short person comes along that can fill that half, 2 short, male, female. So, there is no data to back up that gender quotas, and first let me ask a question. Where's Phil? Answer this question, or whoever in the audience. Phil, I'm picking on you. What is the primary reason that you build a team or build a business? What do you want to do with that business? Successful, right? Yeah. Yeah, you want to build a successful, high-performing team. Yeah. Sorry. Okay, no, but that's the right answer. Successful. That's what it. Yeah, that's fine. Good. That's what you want to do. You want to build a successful, high-performing team. There is no data to say that having gender quotas equates to a high-performing team, because gender quotas doesn't mean you're choosing the right person for the role. You're doing it to tick a box, a politically correct box. It's bullshit, okay? I put it to you and to the leaders within the audience that have something to do with recruiting. Gender quotas do work, but not in terms of your hiring. Gender quotas work in your pool of candidates. if you try and have a gender balanced pool of candidates and then select the right person for your team based on their skills, experience, and the cultural fit for your organization. That is how gender balance is achieved. You have flexible working arrangements for parents, not just the mothers, for the fathers as well. Like in Sweden, they have equal amounts of leave for both the father and the mother. You have a great culture. You want a high-performing team, people who support each other, a welcoming culture where everybody works together. A decentralized management structure, in my opinion, a flat structure with a central goal, a central mission that everybody understands, is the way to attract the best people in your organization. That's how you get a balanced team, because women in security, they're like unicorns at this point. There's not many, especially in technical side of cybersecurity, but they're there, and that's how you attract these people, by having flexible working arrangements and a welcoming place where they're not identified as a female, they're just a member of the team, just the same as the males are. And salary parity. No female leaders, just leaders. No female staff, just staff. Stop differentiating between male and females. Choose the right person for the team based on some the other metrics. Now, leads me to my next point. All of us here in the cybersecurity industry, probably already aware of it. Cybersecurity industry, man, it's a golden ticket. Like, it really is. Like, there is no industry, in my opinion, in the world that you can come in and within a few years you can be a leader within your industry or within your organization, because it's such a rapidly growing industry and it's still quite nascent. The adoption of technology at such a rapid rate, technology is proliferating so quickly that the opportunities that come out of it are boundless. That's why there's a cybersecurity skills shortage that we always talk about, because technologies and the risk that goes with it is proliferating far quickly than we can train people or hire people. Okay, it is a golden ticket. Now, a friend of mine who I respect deeply, who's in the audience, we had a conversation a couple of weeks ago, and she said, "Shannon, I'm just trying to, once I get to this point and I've got this level of credibility and I've done this and this, I'm trying to be a bigger fish within the industry." And I said to her, what do you mean when you get to this stage, you're going to be a bigger fish? Be at that stage now. It's the same principle as dressing for the job you want, not the job that you have. Act that way. If you're in a particular part of the industry, put your hand up and say, I want to be the expert in this. I'm the subject matter expert. I'm the industry thought leader, even though I hate that term. In a world full of fish, be a fucking shark. Okay? Be aggressive. It ties into what Carissa said, and I'll talk about it soon, is not caring about what anybody else thinks. Okay? You have to back it up to have that credibility. If you make that call that you're the person to talk to about this particular topic, or you're going to go down this road and be this expert in this particular niche of cybersecurity, or whatever it is, it doesn't have to be cyber, it can be, your software development or anything like that. If you go down that road, make sure that you have the credibility to back it up, but be a shark, be aggressive. People are scared of aggression in this industry a little bit. We get politically correct and we're like, oh no, you can't say those things. Bullshit. Do what makes you happy, okay? And this ties into this. No one ever built a statue of a critic. And there are a lot of critics in this industry, okay? And in Australia, we have an issue with tall poppy syndrome. We really do. If you go above a level that's seen to be your level by the general consensus, if you rise above other people, they will, a lot of times, attempt to cut you down. I went through it in a really bad way with people I used to work with in the military. It's extremely toxic. It can bring you right down. Like, I was depressed and I had severe anxiety, and I really let it get to me until I got to a point where, what does it matter? What I've found is that people who have time to talk shit about other people aren't successful. They're in the same job. I don't have time to talk shit about people. I'm too busy chasing my dreams and helping other people achieve theirs. Your network is everything. Be an outlier. An outlier is a data that sits outside the normal data set. Don't be like everybody else, like what Carissa said. Be a shark, Don't care what anybody else thinks. Nobody ever built a statue of a critic. I'm a great believer in luck, and I find the harder I work, the more I have of it. Now, I've spoken about success, and I've had, fortunately, quite a bit of success in building a business and selling it, and success I've had within the industry. And there's still a long way to go for me personally. Now, the only reason I'm here today, and the only reason I'll get to where I want to go at the end, is back-breaking, fucking callus-having, arthritis-y hands from typing too much, fucking hard goddamn work. I was putting in, when I was running the business, up until the time I sold it, 7 days a week, 17, 18-hour days, to the point where I was waking up at 1 a.m. answering emails, and it wasn't a sustainable work-life balance, but it was necessary to get my company to where I got to when I sold it. And even now, working every day, reading. How many books are you reading each week? Each week, not each month, each week. What vlogs are you watching? Blogs, or you're reading, articles you're ingesting. What are you doing every single day in your life to make yourself the leader within your industry or to achieve your goals? It's not going to come to you. It's not going to arrive on a platter and go, oh, here you go, here's that book you wanted to write, here's that position you wanted within the company, here's that business you wanted to build and sell for millions of dollars down the track. It's not going to come to you. You have to work your ass off for it. And people will say, you'll come out of nowhere and all the haters will say, oh, overnight success, or he doesn't deserve this because I knew this person 10 years ago and he wasn't like that. Well, I'm not like that anymore. You know what I mean? You need to surround yourself, and tying to Carissa's point, with people who are like-minded, other outliers, other people who are different. Surround yourselves with people that support you. In the end, kindness is free. I've been living my life by a principle the last 12 months, and it's really changed my life. I saw it in a podcast from about 12 months ago about the law of reciprocity. If you give your time, you give your lessons learned, and you give whatever you have to give, what people need, without thought of anything in return, it comes back tenfold anyway. The amount of great connections and learning experiences I've got back just from trying to help people. Kindness is free, guys. Don't bitch about each other behind your backs. Don't go away on LinkedIn and talk about, like, this recruiter said this, or this cybersecurity analyst that doesn't know, GRC from bloody vulnerability management, and, be kind to each other, okay? Be a shark, guys. Be a fucking shark. That's all I can say. Thanks, guys.